If you're looking to create talking head videos just like this, where you're talking to a camera, you sound good, and you look good, then here are the 3 main pieces of gear that I use to get this done. Number 1, I have mics. The ones that I use are the wireless go-tos, and very often I'll lav them up. And right now I have my mic, it's right around here on my shoulder. It's stuck to the inside of my shirt. This is a way of me being able to use a lav mic without it being in frame. So you could use this with a lav mic, but you could also use this just natively, like talking right into the mic, just like this. I do that a lot for voiceovers. So if I'm making a voiceover on Instagram, I'm able to USB, there's a USB insert here, and I'm able to USB straight to my Galaxy and then use these for a voiceover. And I just do it like this because it's plenty high quality. I just use the lav mic because it's more directional, and I found it to be slightly higher quality for videos like these than the native mic. I don't know if I'm imagining it, but I have listened to both, and I believe that a lav mic is going to be higher quality than this mic, although this mic is great in a lot of different scenarios, like street interviewing. A lot of people use this for street interviewing, so you can like just put it on the end. I actually have the mics that come with this. One second. So they come with these holders, and you're able to just click this right in and now cover it with the foam. And I've even seen people take like their logo or whatever they're interviewing for and have it around the stick over here, and also replace the foam. So this foam says Rode, obviously, right? So you could replace this with your logo, with whatever you're into, and then go interview people. There's another reason why I really like these, and that's because as soon as you turn it on, it's going to start recording. And even if you didn't hit record on your camera, it's still going to be recording. And the one situation where this came up for me was when I was filming a documentary in Poland. And there was so much audio that I would have used. I mic'd up a couple of the presenters, and had I had the go-tos at the time, I would have had all the audio in between my hitting the record button, because I could plug this straight into my computer, USB-C, straight into my computer, and just offload all the audio. It continues to record. It's like a safety channel button thing, and it just goes and goes and goes and records everything in between your takes. There were so many sound bites of things that this presenter said that I could have used, but I didn't necessarily need the video for it, so I didn't hit record, and I didn't have the audio at the end of the day. But imagine if I had all that audio, I would have been able to use it. Another thing is, let's say like your recording settings to your camera are a little off, you'll always be able to pull a high quality version of that audio straight from this. So it's like a safety channel. Let's say it didn't come out great from your camera for some reason, you'll always be able to access that audio file straight from the device. The last thing I'm going to highlight about this product is that you can have 2. So you can have the receiver and then 2 transmitters. What this means is you could plug this into your camera and then have 2 people, podcast or something, or a conversation. You could have 2 people talking to each other, and it feeds to one receiver. Let's say you're a street interviewer and you want to have a mic for yourself, and you can have another mic for someone else, or you can interview 2 people at once, which if you're a street interviewer or some sort of blogger or something, that's going to come up pretty often. So those are the main features on the go-to that I really like. I will say that I know there's a lot of versions of this wireless type of mic that are available at similar price points. I know the Hollyland Mark II, I believe it's called, is also in the same price range, and it magnets to your shirt. If you don't mind your mic being visible, then they have a magnet version, which is pretty cool. I would check that out if you're looking for a new wireless mic. That's something that would be nice to be able to have with the Rodes, is imagine these were magnetable. So I really like the Rodes. They've been very dependable for me. I'm using one right now. Obviously not this set. I have a second set that I'm using right now, and I've really liked using this company. I really like their quality. I find them very dependable. I have all Rode mics, all of my mics that I use, besides for my Sennheiser for like really high quality interview audio. So I will say that when I'm filming for my clients, I use these as a backup, and the original audio, the full quality audio that I'm using is my Sennheiser journalism mic, and that actually gives me even higher quality. But these are very, very high quality mics that are super versatile, lightweight. You could put them on someone, like if you're filming a wedding, you could put them on a groom, and if you're filming a documentary, you could put them on someone you're filming a political candidate, just like mic them up and have 12 hours of audio. You could record a whole podcast with these mics and then just offload the audio from the receiver. There's so many different things you could do with these mics, it's amazing. The next piece of gear that you're gonna need to look into is a light. And there's so many types of light, and there are so many companies that create lights online. It's a very wide variety, and I've spent a lot of time researching what are the high quality lights, what are the lower quality lights at different price points, and what should I get. I try to only have very high quality lights because we all know lighting is a major part of filmmaking. So I found this company along my way called Recast, and these are the lights that I started. This pack comes with 3. I have this case and it comes with 3. These are the lights I started my career with, and they are plenty powerful, and they have this diffusion screen in the front, which helps your video be a little extra soft. An LED panel, so you know that it's not going to flicker. You have the ability to put batteries on the back. This replaces the Sony NP-F750, so you can take these batteries, which I found personally, I don't buy Recast batteries, so I really like their light, but I actually really don't like their batteries. So the batteries that come with the light, you're better off ordering from a company called Watson. So Watson has the same types of batteries that go on the Recast, and I really have found like the metal housing of this light to be really nice. It's like aluminum housing. This has been very high quality for me, and I really enjoy working with the Recast brand, except for their batteries. Their batteries break at the seam over here, and there's a lot of wear and tear. You're during an event, if you're filming weddings, or if you're on a film set, obviously you're not being like aggressive with it, but you slap it onto the base and you want it to charge, and that has wear and tear. And my Recast batteries all break along the edge over here. So I highly recommend just going with the brand Watson. They're way higher quality. I've had these for years. Highly recommend these if you need these types of batteries. So Recast is a dependable, high quality brand. I know there's other brands out there like simalr that have similar types of lights and at similar price points, but this is the light that I've been using. At a certain point, I upgraded and I got the bigger version of these lights, and I attached barn doors to those lights so I'd have a little bit more control over them. I use these Recast lights as backlights, rim lights, hair lights. I don't usually use them as a key light, but there's so many reasons to have a Recast light. Like recently, my niece, who's a makeup artist, needed a light, so I lent her / gave her one of these Recast panel lights that I have, so she has a dependable light that she'll be able to use. And another awesome benefit is plug in. She'll be able to plug in this light on her jobs, and then let's say she doesn't have an outlet, she'll be able to put batteries on it. So as a filmmaker, the ability to plug it into an outlet and not have to worry about battery is awesome. And then also not having to worry about having power is also awesome, because I could always have these super light batteries, put it on the end. They have a bigger version of these batteries as well that I really, really like. So highly recommend checking out Watson, because they also have a dual base charger. So I'm gonna leave links to all this equipment down below in the description so you could check it out and see for yourself. So full disclosure, I started my career using these Recast lights, and most of my work in the beginning was with these Recast lights, and then at a certain point I upgraded to Amaran lights. Amaran is the baby company of Aperture, and one day I will upgrade to Aperture lights and I will have the like 600 watt light so I could film in the outdoors blazing sun and have my own sun to counteract that and make everything look beautiful. One day I will have the Apertures. Right now I have the Aperture 600's little brother called the Amaran 300s. I have a 300 watt color and a 200 watt cob light, which I use for most of my interviews. It's so strong. I only ever need to ever go to 20% on this light. It's so strong. So my main key lights today, after being in this industry for a while now, I've upgraded since to my Amaran lights using softboxes, but for the first bunch of years of my career, I used these Recast lights. So if you're looking for an ability to vlog yourself and be able to film yourself, you don't need anything higher quality than Recast lights. These are amazing lights. that will give you everything you're looking for. They even have compatible softboxes and grids available so that you could shape your light and make it more soft for yourself. There's so many options. I highly recommend, if you're looking for an option under $200, then Dracast lights are where it's at. So lastly, let's talk about cameras. So personally, I've used Nikon cameras, Canon, and Sony, and I've landed on Sony. I've loved the autofocus, I've loved the colors, I've loved how my cameras, even though some of them are different models, I can always match the color up afterwards. There's just so much to love about Sony. So let's say that you're going to go along with what I'm saying, and you're going to get a Sony. Or you're going to do your own research and find out the same thing that I found out, which is Sony is the best. And so then there's a couple different choices to choose from. I found that filming without an amazing autofocus is extremely aggravating, and not being able to depend on the fact that you can move and stay in focus is too much. Like, I love that I stayed in focus throughout that whole thing, and I'm shifting closer and further to my camera, and I'm in focus. I know I'm in focus. I can move around, shift, and I know I'm in focus. You need a camera that has good autofocus, and I would say the lower tier, you're gonna look at the ZV-E1 or the ZV-1, because this way you'll be able to film in 4K. You don't have to worry about an external lens. You don't have to worry about any of that. You can just set up your camera and just film, and just talk to your camera and film and record, and it's very high quality. You can set it to 4K and you'll have a very high quality image. If you're looking for a bare bones setup, that's what you're gonna need, is a ZV-1. It has great autofocus. You'll be able to talk to your camera, film everything you need to, and know dependably that you're in focus. I'm personally filming this on an A7 IV, which I believe is like a $3,200 body. So if you're not looking to spend over $3,000 on a camera, the ZV-1 is a great option. And then it just gets progressively more and more expensive from there. So I'm going to suffice it to say that if you're looking for a bare bones setup, which is the type of equipment that I've been sharing, this is a starter setup for you want to be able to create videos by yourself and not have to go and break the bank, then you're going to be working with the ZV-1. Or if you have a little bit more money, the ZV-E1. And if you're looking to go up from there, then there becomes a whole other conversation of, are you trying to shoot more photo, more video? Where are you trying to go with this? Because once you start spending more money, you want to make sure that you're really getting the camera that's a good fit for you. The ZV-1 is good for everyone. It does photo and video, shoots in 4K. I highly recommend it if you're trying to have a bare bones setup. So altogether, those are the three things that I would look into. It's getting a Sony camera, working with the ZV-1 and then upgrading from there, working with Dracast lights and then upgrading from there, and then working with Rode Go mics and upgrading from there.